And we are back. Film watch. We are Frank Football. I'm your host Brandon, and I got my man Honey Grant. Set it off, Chris, with me. So, Chris, we originally had the intention to do this video yesterday, but then like some exciting things happened, so we kind of had to readjust because we professionals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I had to be able to move on the fly. Had to be able to
Mhm.
stick and move and, do a couple of different things. And shout out to everybody who's putting out fabulous content about
Absolutely.
what, Quentin Williams and Logan Wilson will be
Mhm.
able to do. What's going on, fam, about what they're going to be able to do. But you can't
Mhm.
go forward
Yeah.
unless you look back, right?
Yeah.
And so the Cowboys on Monday night, fell to 3-5-1.
Mhm.
A lot of my homies got a good hoorah out of that,
Yeah.
which is cool. I
Yeah.
mean, I love living rent free in the minds of Eagles fans on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? I've never understood how I could always find a place to live rent free. So we'll
Mhm.
always have a place to live. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. Monday night was by all intents and purposes
Mhm.
probably one is the to me
Yeah.
the most disappointing, ugly loss of the season. And
Mm.
we've already had four other ones, but let me kind of paraphrase why I felt this way.
Explain.
Okay, because we always go with the good, bad, and ugly. But this
Yeah.
the so let's I'm I'm gonna paraphrase that because you were looking to make a statement. The
Mhm.
last three games were supposed to be statement games. The Denver game was supposed to be able to get the 30 plus year old uh, noose of the Broncos from around your neck, to say the
Yeah.
least, of just beating your ass on a regular basis.
Mhm.
And when that didn't happen, the next thing was like, that defense was a lot better than we thought it was. Let's go and get on track against Arizona.
Mhm.
You know, and when we talked pregame the matchup, our thing was let the Cowboys not be their average,
Their
right?
average.
Their average. So they turned around and did that. They
Yeah.
weren't their average. They were not
Mhm.
their average.
But they was on the
But
opposite end of that though.
they was the opposite end of the average.
Mhm.
So lot of bad in this one. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna go with my good. Um
Tell me how you
absolute
dug for gold to find that one because I know it was
I,
hard
I,
to
I
find.
hey, I couldn't find anything that was good, bro. I
Mhm.
couldn't find a single solitary thing that I was excited about. Um, you know, nothing at all. There was nothing good about this
Mhm.
in this performance. You ended up scoring 17 points, and it wasn't anything good. Where was your good?
Tyler Booker. Tyler Booker was by far and large the best offensive lineman. Didn't really lose any of those battles for real, for real.
Okay,
And
okay,
I don't judge rookies, Chris, but I will give credit where it's due. I think that
okay,
he had a good game.
okay.
Despite the guys that you would see around him. Tyler Smith didn't have a great game for real, for
I was that.
real.
Yeah, you took something from me, so go ahead.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Terrence Steele looked awful. He had to get
mm,
benched for Nate Thomas, and the bad thing is Nate Thomas looked worse.
okay.
Tyler Guyton. I feel like Tyler Guyton is kind of one of those situations where he's making progress this year. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So
Okay.
I think that yes, he had a bad game, but I was able to see some sparks where I was like, okay, TG is getting it together. In time, I think that he will be a serviceable offensive lineman in this league. He will be, you know, an offensive lineman that you could be comfortable with. May not be the
Mm,
best, but you could be comfortable with.
okay.
But yeah, my good would have to be Tyler Booker. Because
Okay.
I think
Okay.
despite all of the chaos that was going on around him, he did
Mm.
have a great game.
Man, I mean, I'm just gonna call you Yukon Cornelius from now on. You know what I'm saying? It's becoming the holiday season, and if
Hey,
you ever watched any kind of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or Frosty
yeah.
Snowman, you know exactly because you were honey, because you went a lot of ding nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's
Chris,
what
if it's one thing I like, it's O line play.
no doubt. But dude,
Mm-hmm.
that was gonna be, if that was your good, then
Mm-hmm.
I can go straight to my bad. And I just
Please, please.
okay, so my bad is the offensive line play outside of Tyler Booker. Everybody had a terrible night, from Tyler Guyton showing that he was a guy who was continuing to work. You know, he hadn't had a really, really bad game, but that was probably his worst game of the season. Tyler Smith really had a bad game, and he got worked by William Nolan, from the rookie. And Walter Nolan, my bad, Walter Nolan, worked him over. And made several plays in the backfield. Looked like the first-round draft pick. Looked like the 16th pick in the draft. Like he was a menace, and he had his coming out party. Cooper Beebe, first game back. You know how big I was on having Cooper Beebe back. You know, we had got Brock Hoffman's 5 to 7 games that I could trust him with. I'm like, Cooper's going to show out tonight. Nah. Tyler Booker, like you said. But even now, here's the thing that got me. Most people jumped on Terrence Steele, but I feel like the ugly aided to the point of the offensive line being bad. You understand? They were bad, they put themselves in a lot of bad situations. But they didn't pass block well at all. They had rain under stress at all times, and they were doing more catching than they were doing more receiving than giving. What I always like with offensive linemen, when you can go ahead and throw the punch by running the football, getting downhill, imposing your will, then when it comes to the point where people are trying to come at you, you've already kind of warmed down a little bit. And last night they just, the offensive line or the offensive line just didn't give us the opportunity to start executing the things we like. Yeah. What was your bad?
I think that if I had to choose a bad, it would be Brian Schottenheimer. I believe that he put on his worst coaching display of the season.
Okay.
When you're in your first drive and you decide not to take points and things like that, that just shows. I'm not sure if I would call it stubbornness or anything like that, but he had some lapses in judgment this game. And I feel like Brian Schottenheimer kind of he what's the best way to say this? When it comes to timeouts, he's like, look, you can't take them with you. We're just gonna use them whenever. I think he might have had to be a little bit smarter with his timeout usage. But yeah, I would give Shotty the bad. If we're gonna praise him when he does well, we have to be able to chastise him when he does poorly. And one thing about them offensive linemen, Chris.
Okay.
Did it look like Tyler Smith was still hurt? Like he might be dealing with a little lower body injury?
I just think he I don't know what he was. I don't know if he was a step ahead. He just didn't seem like his normal self. He was like reaching and grabbing instead of being more assertive of just putting his foot in the ground and imposing his will on people. That was the one thing about Tyler Smith that we've always known. He's going to be physical. He's going to set the tone. And Walter Note, it wasn't like Walter Note was making great moves. It was just like Tyler was doing something totally different and just leaving him wide open to go do what he had to do.
He seemed off balance. He just
didn't seem like him.
With him having a lower body injury prior, like when he missed those games, or that game, I'm not sure how many he missed off the top of my head.
Right. But
it seems like he kind of got like a Zach Martin situation, how Zach Martin looked like the shell of himself, and was just playing through the injury. I think that Tyler Smith might be doing kind of the same thing. Came back because the team needed him, and overcompensated, like you said, by pushing instead of being able to plant himself and have a firm foundation. And that could be because of some pain in the lower body.
I think everybody kind of they look past Arizona instead of giving Arizona its proper respect. Their starting quarterbacks aren't going to be there. This should be, a give me game. And you're not in any position to overlook anyone. Walking into that game, you were 3-4. You needed that game, to reassert your dominance. And I think it should have been to the point of keeping their head down, pushing through this team, knowing that they were going to be, because you'd already played your pesky teams that you should have already beaten. You lost to the pesky Panthers. This was your second crack at getting one of those teams that are like that you should be able to overcome. And you had the advantage on your side with a stationary quarterback like Brissett, not letting him get in rhythm, not letting him feel comfortable. So once again, I just think where you said your bad was Brian Schottenheimer. My ugly was Brian Schottenheimer.
Mm.
I don't fit. This was his worst play calling game.
Yeah.
Way too pass happy than he needed to be. You go back and look at Javonte Williams had 87 yards on 13 carries, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. That's far too few carries for him. If you get him, and Rain had 39 passes, so our differential, we don't like him over 35.
Mm-hmm.
So if you would have got maybe 10 more carries to get him to 25, right?
Mm-hmm.
Javonte goes over 100. You take less pressure off the offensive line, who's struggling, right? But you didn't do that. So I think he called a terrible game. He did not understand the moment in front of him, the team that he was dealing with, and having the foresight to understand that this is going to be a really tough football game, that this team whooped your ass the year before last in their building, and trying to resurrect some dominance. I feel like, honestly, man, there's a lot of things you can do to me, B, but don't lie to me.
Absolutely.
See, when you lie to me, I feel like you don't respect me enough to tell me the truth that I can handle it and give you the grace needed to go forward. And excuse me. So Brian told us at the beginning, we are going to be what? A physical football team. A team that runs downhill. We're going to run the football, and we're going to be that kind of team. And the last 2 weeks, he's been pass happy to the point of saying, I'm going to throw it to score instead of let me run my offense, run the football, pass when I need to, take advantage when I get heavier box with 7 or 8 in the box where I can get one-on-one coverage on the outside and work to my strength of CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Jake Ferguson, and so forth.
Yeah.
He hasn't done that. And I know you weren't. Are we worried about running Javonte Williams down? Listen, we continue to run the football. We're going to have to figure out what Jaden Blue is or whoever's backing him up, or if we're going to run Hunter Lipgate. I don't care who we're going to do it, but we can't. Don't lie to me because, excuse me, you have continued to lie to me with your play calling. And so my ugly was Brian Schottenheimer. My team wasn't prepared. We didn't seize the moment. I threw the ball way too much, and I end up costing my team a win when you turn around in the fourth quarter where you're trying to throw long passes to score when you had 2 opportunities to get 6 points and make that a tighter ball game than you had to be. Where it should have been at that point in phase of the game.
So let's think about that a little bit, right? Outside of making the overly confident decision to go for it in your first drive on fourth and goal. You got to think about the Cowboys being 0 for 3 on their aggressive calls, and including like you said that 4th and 3 incompletion to CeeDee Lamb.
Come on.
That, what was it, 4th and goal incompletion to Ferg. So yeah, I do think that he tried to come in with like a bold strategy, but it backfired on him. It definitely backfired.
Because you could have taken the points, right?
Yeah.
Could have taken the points, made the game closer, and then when you got the ball with 3 to 4 minutes, listen, man, I don't care if Brandon Aubrey scores 12 points. All I need is a win.
Absolutely.
I need a win. I need a win, get my confidence back. I go into the bye on a high note. I got my teeth kicked in by the Broncos. Okay, but I win a tough, scrappy game against Arizona. And now, with the additions that you made, now you can make your adjustments. But you didn't do that. You went into the bye on a 2-game losing streak, and now the pressure's on you to come and play against a tough Las Vegas Raiders team. That's going to come back. It's going to come and give you everything they got.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that I agree with what you said about giving Javonte Williams more burn. Ready Red, what's up in the chat? I do agree with what you said about giving Javonte more burn, because Terrence Steele is a much better run defender than he is in pass pro.
Pass pro.
I think
that
would have worked toward his strengths and probably some of your other offensive lineman strengths as well, because there's certain nuances that aren't really applied when it comes to pass pro. You can just be more haphazard, throw caution to the wind when you're run blocking, because you're moving forward, you're pushing. with pass block, you kind of need to have a little bit more patience. You know what I'm saying? So you don't get beat and let a guy get behind you.
I'll give you an analogy, B. Mm-hmm. I would rather throw punches like Mike Tyson than have to play defense like Floyd Mayweather. Because to be Floyd was a tactician. He was calculated in the whole nine. But if that wasn't, but throwing punches wasn't his strong suit. He could throw them, but he could throw them when you're off balance. By running the football, you start imposing your will. Now you get to work on your weaknesses, which is your pro sets, especially for steel. Guyton is still a work in progress. Tyler Smith's coming off injury, so he's going to be a little bit. This is BB's first extended time back, right? Yes. Booker has gotten his feet back under him because he's been back for a couple of games. But man, your offensive line played horrendously. And you didn't try to help your football team in a couple of different ways. You didn't help your football team by keeping your worst unit off the field, which is your defense, right? By running the football. You didn't help your offensive line by helping them to be more physical. And then on top of that, man, you continue to let your quarterback take a beating and get hit. You know, and that's the one guy you can't afford to go down.
And he got a little bit hobbled at first. Going into the locker room at halftime, he was limping. That made me hold my breath, Chris. Made me hold my breath.
Hey, man, listen. If 4 goes down, listen here, man. We right brick on my brick, bro. We are straight in draft season.
Hey, look. I'm already into that in 2 weeks, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But Chris, if I had to pick an ugly, I don't give shared awards too often, right? But the shared award for the ugly has to go to DaRon Bland and Matt Eberflus.
Okay, DaRon Bland and Matt Eberflus?
And Matt Eberflus.
Explain, my boy.
DaRon Bland got torched by Marvin Harrison Jr. It was one play. He looked like he dropped his glasses or something like that, like he was Velma in Scooby-Doo, because he was touching grass, man. He was touching turf. And I think that as the coach, you can't let the player get beat all game and then have to come to you and say, hey, coach, I need some help. You got to make the decision to send some help over his way. And that didn't happen much until way later in the game, maybe when DaRon Bland said something, or either when Eberflus was like, all right, it's too late.
Okay.
Church in the chat box said torched is an understatement. Yeah, fricassee. You know,
I mean, but my thing is this: you kind of knew that already. See what I'm saying? I can't give a shared award for a guy who didn't realize that the guy he was going to put on him.
Yeah.
The guy who. Okay, so you walked into this game, and I don't know if it's, Matt Eberflus is oblivious to past film, but we watched DK Metcalf do the same thing to DaRon Bland last year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if we know that he's not going to work against big, physical, fast wide receivers, right? He's better in the slot.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a film watching duo like you and I to realize that DaRon Bland is a slot corner. He's not good on the outside. When a guy has the ability to go up or two-way goes with him on the outside, he's not good against those guys. So you want to give part of that to Bland. Bland's just doing what his boss told him to do and realized he couldn't do it. But his boss should have known that ahead of time. So I'm never going to put that on Bland. I'm going to put that solely on Eberflus again for, just not understanding his personnel.
But at the same time, it wasn't just Marvin Harrison Jr. that was able to get a piece of that. They played fine to scrub with DaRon Bland. They were hunter pen. Remember, Michael Wilson's big 50-yard touchdown was on DaRon Bland.
Okay.
So if we're gonna give a guy credit, we also got to be good enough to chastise him. Now, I do think that things got out of control, especially like the Cowboys put the Cardinals in third down situations, third and mid or third and longer, a lot. The Cardinals were 7 of 13 on third down, Chris.
But the Cowboys defense is probably probably 50% on the year on third downs, bro.
Mhm.
They don't get off the field, man.
Mhm.
Dude, they don't get people off the field. You can't name. I mean, the week before last, the punter didn't punt until the third or fourth quarter. I think the fourth quarter. They don't get people off the field, even in third and long situations, bro. Go ahead, keep going.
Not at all. And that could come from. Freddie Ray, what do you mean? You asking, did we get blackballed? What do you mean? Explain, brother. But I just think that it was just an overall collapse, man. Jacoby Brissett is an okay quarterback. He's a serviceable backup, but he asserted dominance over this team. Man, Chris, they caught him on a hot mic saying it was too effing easy.
Okay, so I mean, but the thing about it is, he ain't telling you nothing that the other five, what the other four guys who whooped us hadn't said.
Yeah,
Bryce Young said it. You know, we may never ever see Sierra Husband. I mean, Russell Wilson ever again. He looked amazing. Caleb Williams probably had his best day of the year, one of his best games of the year against us, right? I want to say statistically, our game was probably Justin Skylar Fields' last time we could say his middle name ever again. You could say it against us because he had a really good game that day. He did. Dude, Bo Nix looked like the reincarnation of John Elway. Yeah. Dude, it has been just entirely too easy against Eberflus and what he's been able to do. So coming out of the bye with a few added pieces, we need to start seeing a trend where Eberflus is winning more than he's losing.
But I mean, that kind of tells the story that we've seen all year. The Cowboys are every team's get right game. You know, the Dallas Cowboys are the place where dreams come true. We Disneyland.
Man, we're Disney, man. You know, Jimmy the Cricket and all them dudes is hanging out kicking it because, dude, it has been bad this year because we're able to get people get them right. So,
so think about what you said. We were able to start the Bears, win streak and things like that. We were able to start the Panthers win streak, and it remains to be seen whether the Cardinals will get a little bit of
what we did is we broke their losing streak, so we did start their winning streak. So dude, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like shoddy for everything, all in purposes what he does good, and he's giving us motion and all these different things on offense. We're not looking predictable. We're not holding true to what can help us be more explosive and to help our team win more games. We already know we can score. Right now, the question is, can we score? We're at 17 points. We're at 17 points. So it's not so much about us being able to score. It's about us being able to understand the moments that help us get to the point where we win football games. And right now, we're not doing that.
Sure. I 100% agree. Ready, Red. We still collaborate with our guys. We just had DMV on the channel last week. Much love to all of our guys. We still collaborate often.
Oh no! And you know what you probably thinking because had the round. They had the big round. But see, they missed it when you was hanging out with John and his guys. So did you put you know what happened? You ain't take that time to put it on the platform. You kind of just flowed with them. So
that's
remember, that was on you. But nah, man, listen, bro. We got we're pretty much I can say this, we're pretty much well respected out here in these streets, man. We just, we've been just trying to continue to build what we do over here at Ready Red, but we appreciate you coming and rocking with us, bro. Without question. Yeah, man. Thank you.
Chris, Dak Prescott probably had one of his worst games of the year, right? I do think that when you have to force your offense to press, that's how you get a lot of these forced turnovers and things like that. Because when the defense at least keeps things competitive, keeps it roundabout, you know what I'm saying? Your offense doesn't press. You're able to lean on your running game a little bit more. But when you make your quarterback feel like he has to do it all, or make your offense, not even your quarterback, because your offense does their job most of the time. You got two elite receivers and elite running back, things of that nature. When when you make them have to feel like they have to be perfect for you to have a chance, that's how you get in a lot of those compromising situations. Because you never feel like, okay, we can just punt this one off and give it another go when we get the ball back. Because you know that you're just gonna put the other team is gonna put 7 more points on the board.
I mean, B, I understand that. I really do. But you can also do that by, if you continue to score or just an opportune time score, you can be able to do that. So when you had the first drive, you were third, it was a false start or something down there on the first drive. Hey, listen, go third down, it's fourth down. Hey, listen, we didn't get it. Let's kick a field goal. We know we can move the football. Fine. But thinking that you're gonna pin, here's the arrogance in it. Oh, well, we'll just pin them back here and our defense will come out and stop them. What? Huh?
No.
You ain't seen them do that all year. Take the points where you can get the points. So then you come back, now you're working to the point, okay, you kick it off to them, do what you're going to do, and maybe you stop them, maybe you don't. But my problem is to be so arrogant to say, if we don't score, it's like a slap in the face of the defense. We don't trust you at all, so we got to score 7 to try to make it to the point that
how was it a slap in the face, though? They the ones that put that makeup on.
I mean, they did put that ugly shade of red lipstick on. They did, but now,
I'll tell you who it is really a slap in the face to. It's a slap to Brandon Aubrey. It's a slap in the face to Brandon Aubrey because all they have to do is, if they're going to try to get cute and not rely on their defense, put 3 points on the board whenever you can. If you can't get 7, at least take 3.
Take the 3, and if they score 7, you're only down by 4 instead of down by 7. But
that's the thing. If they would have took that first field goal, it would have been a 7-point game after we scored that touchdown. And you could hope that something will happen. The team might have a little bit more fire.
It'd been a 4-point game. Yeah, absolutely. It's been a 4-point game. So you didn't get to the point of saying, okay, we're going to score points. Hey, defense, go out there, do the very best you can, make a play, get a stop, get the ball back, and then start trying to get, go back at it, because to the point you gave Arizona life by turning around and letting them stop you down there. They had confidence. And the last thing, man, they were already a 5 losses in a row. They didn't have much confidence. You don't breathe life into them like that. So hey, they like, hey, all right, we can stop them. They're not as bad as they think they are. And then they just kept believing. And then the defense did what it normally does.
So, Chris, last week we talked about how one of our fears, and you said it first, and I agree with you, right? One of our fears is that Matt Eberflus might retain his job. His key card might still work after Black Monday.
Yeah.
That theory kind of gained a little bit more traction when on Tuesday, on Monday, Jerry Jones came out and said how one of his faults has been trying to chase a good coach, and he needs to embrace continuity. I feel like that was saying it without saying it, that Eberflus is going to get another chance in 2026. What do you think about that?
I mean, I truly believe he felt like, in my opinion, I think Flus ended up thinking he was going to have a chance to coach a dynamic player on defense. He thought he was going to be able to deal with, Piker Marsons and, and deal with him on the defense. Hey, man, I'm not saying that dude's name, man. When you do certain things, bro, I'm just not. But long story short, you were supposed to get this guy, and you kind of built your whole defense around having that guy there, and then you turn around and you don't have him. So I think chasing that coordinator is fool's gold. I think if you give any coach good players, the schemes are the schemes, man. The goal of winning football is 2 things: blocking A and B gap, and defending A and B gap. And if you can do that, you can win 9 to 12 football games a year without question. You ain't got to be super dynamic or anything like that. If you can block A and B gap, everything else falls into place, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So,
No, go
I
ahead,
think
please.
so. I think you give Eberflus the pieces to be successful, which you have now. Add to that, let his scheme go to work because he's had successful schemes. He's had successful defenses. Okay, and I think you marry that with Shotty having another year, a little bit more, having a little bit more season in what he's doing, and you go forward. I think you turning around 4 years and 4 different DCs isn't the move for anyone.
I get it, but sometimes you got to know when you got a limit, right?
Nah, because I don't think it's to the point. You had a lemon.
Yeah,
you had a lemon. You were able to get
back in the chat. What's up, brother?
What's up, Stevie? I think you had a lemon, but I think you also had the ability to get something from that lemon, which they usually don't do. Usually they get a bad player and they don't get anything from it. They don't get anything of any value, or you get some compensatory pick that you don't even remember who that person is for that person. You actually got some, plausible value that you can see growing and you can probably build around. How often does that happen? That you get a lemon, you get rid of it, and you get something better that you can build around.
I can't recall the last time. I can't recall the last time, and we've had our share of lemons over the last 5 or 6 drafts.
I ain't gonna say. Okay, I'm not even gonna let you go there because you got it. You want to pull that dude's name out, but that's okay. Yeah, you've had some guys. You've had some bad players.
Here we go.
You've picked some guys. You picked some bad guys. I know how you want to start rapping, grabbing the mic, and know the vibes. I know how you get down. I know how you get down, man. I know how you get down.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want your dude too, but that's okay.
Look. The prospect is different from the pro. I say that all the time.
Okay.
The prospect is different from the pro.
Okay.
In hindsight, being presented with new information, I can say, look, man, dude got kicked out of LSU. You should have known that.
Now.
Yeah, hindsight, Chris. It's 2020. Okay. It's 2020. Look. I say this. Pre-draft, I was like, man, forget all that. He got the skill. He got the skills to pay the bills. He got the talent. Man, and in the year of our Lord 2025.
Man, that dude got kicked out of LSU.
Yeah, that dude got kicked out of LSU, man. Something was wrong.
Okay. All right, so what are you thinking? You want to get rid of Eberflus?
Hard, man. It's hard to really come to a definite conclusion. Stevie Mack said if the defense doesn't progress throughout the rest of the season, you gotta bail. And if in the black and white way, I agree. But like you said, no club should be changing coordinators every 4 years.
I mean, it's like every year. It's like every year.
It's whether you have a guy who wants to go out and get a head coaching job. Like we didn't fire Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn just found an opportunity elsewhere, in order to sit in the big chair. I'm not mad at that.
Okay.
But you got what was the cat before Dan Quinn? Nolan.
Yeah.
Coach Nolan. Now you got
Terrible.
Schottenheimer, who's the third one.
You had Nolan. You had Mike Nolan.
Yeah.
You turned around. You had Dan Quinn. After you left after Dan Quinn, you had Mike Zimmer. And now you turned.
Zim.
Yeah. Zim was last year, right? Yeah, Zim, and then you turned around. And you got Eberflus. So now. There you go. You turn around. This is your 4th coordinator. I think
in 4 years.
Let it set. No, because you had Dan Quinn. 2 or 3. I think it was 3. Mm-hmm. All 3 12 and 5 years you were with Dan Quinn. You had all 3 12 and 5. You had 3 years 12 and 5 is all Dan Quinn. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is that you turn around now. You went from Quinn to Zimmer to Eberflus. I think if you turn around with Eberflus and you get him the requisite pieces, I mean, if you can get a healthy Sharon Ravel and get him here for the back half of the season, you get Elam to go ahead and kind of get and stabilize that. You get Bland because you've already paid him, and this is kind of like a mid-season portion, but you get Bland back to his best position, which is in the slot all this experimental stuff of him outside, stop it. I said this long time ago. Everybody's like, "Oh, he's the best." No, he is a slot corner.
Absolutely.
That's what he
Absolutely.
is. He's the highest paid slot corner in the league. That's who he is, and it is what it is. That goes back to what our boy John Herndon was saying: is that you kind of overpaid for him because you tried to make him what he wasn't. He was always a bona fide slot corner. Now he had a great year outside as an outside defender, but he was always at best at a slot corner.
Yeah.
So, and then you turn around and you can upgrade your safety position because you're going to have an opportunity to do that later, probably at the end of the season, if not via the draft, but definitely by free agency, you'll be able to find some better pieces out there to get explosive at all three levels of your defense. But I think if you get Eberflus the pieces, I don't think he's devoid of understanding how to call a defense. I just think that his talent is so lacking up front that it prohibits him to be able to do the other different things he wants to do. It's just way too much time for guys back there. Everybody looks comfortable. Everybody looks like they're on 7-on-7 throwing the football.
But at the same time, though, you know, going back to Eberflus, he was supposed to be this linebacker whisperer. That was his claim to fame. And our linebacker room looks worse. And I've said that it was a glaring weakness for 2 years now, and it somehow looks worse.
No, okay, it does look worse. And we walked into the season thinking we had some answers. The problem is, B, nope. I'm gonna pull the tape on you. You were kind of like, oh, Kenneth Murray I always want to get that dude. I'm always trying to get that with the party, man. That dude is not at the party, man. But hey, Kenneth Murray, no, hasn't been that. Sanborn, we thought Sanborn was going to be this year's Zach Bond. Zach Bond. We thought that was going to happen. No, that didn't happen. Louisville hasn't turned the corner for us as we thought he would.
You want to know who I was really wrong about based on their preseason play? Damone Clark. Damone Clark in the preseason looked like.
Wait a minute.
Damone Clark looked like he was taking a step forward. And I gave Damone Clark praise. And really, Chris, that's the problem, Chris. My grudge wasn't deep enough, Chris.
You know what it is.
I'm not sure if I ever told you this, Chris, but I hold grudges. I'm not sure if I ever said that on this show before.
This is what you're mad about is the fact of the matter is you took back your grudge off Damone Clark, and then he turned around and was exactly who you said you were, and you're mad. You're mad at him. So you're
I'm not mad at him, Chris. I'm not mad at him. I'm mad at myself.
That's right.
I should have known better.
Right. You saw who he was. He showed you who he was. He didn't give you any indication that he had turned the corner.
He did.
No.
He had 2 good preseason games. And I was like, you know what, Chris? Maybe Damone Clark was taking a step forward. He looked very predictive instead of reactive. And
I'll let you go outside on your own on that. I'll let you go outside on your own on that one. I told you not to go out there. You went out there and found out.
Hey, look,
man, Damone Clark is who he is.
I shouldn't have went outside the street type.
Right. You deserve this whipping that you're getting for believing in Damone Clark when you knew he was terrible. Yeah, Damone should have been one of them guys that you threw in a package to maybe go get somebody. Hey, Miami, we'll give you Damone Clark in a 5th.
Hey, nobody,
you know what I'm saying?
Nobody would trade for any of these linebackers that aren't Overshown or Shamar
James.
Nobody.
Shamar James or Louisville. Yeah.
Those would be the only pieces that teams would even bat an eye at. Everyone else, they'd be like, nah, we good, fam.
I got that over here too. I got that guy over here too.
I got somebody on the practice squad that I like.
Yeah, just like that. Well, I mean, but that's what we're looking at. So, a disappointing loss. And it puts us in a position where we've got 8 games left, and we've got to win 6 of our last 8. We're almost
hope. Now, do I think they're going to do that? Yeah, but they need to win 6 of their last 8 to have hope of getting into the tournament. Yeah,
because everybody. I mean, you've got so many other teams right now who are playing exceptionally well. You're looking at you got the Eagles. I think they have one, if not, they have 1 loss, 2 losses. What?
2.
They have 1. They have 2 losses. Tampa Bay looks formidable, and you know what? Here's the one that really, really hurts you. man, Seattle looks like they're that squad, man.
Yeah.
And, of all the guys who don't deserve a deep playoff run, DeMarcus Lawrence of all guys, I'm going to say it out here up front and out loud,
He don't
deserves
deserve it.
he don't
Why?
deserve it. Huh?
Why?
Because anytime somebody asks you, when you done got boat raced
trounced
by somebody, huh?
See, I read it today. Trounced.
Yeah, trounced. yeah, mollywopped. You know what I'm saying? And they ask you what was the problem, and all you could come out of your mouth and said, "We was tired." What? He deserves no good things to come his way, man. He needs to be sitting outside at the car like this until you do right by me. Right by me. Everything bad got to happen to you. So I don't want no good fortune to DeMarcus Lawrence on the team he's on, bro. And call me a hater, call me what you want to. He don't deserve that.
It's okay if you choose to hold a grudge, Chris. I do.
No. You hold grudges. You hold grudges. I'm just gonna flat out hate on you. That's totally different. Hold a grudge is like you could maybe turn around. Once I'm hating on you, I'm hating on you for the duration, man. So, I'm sorry for all Seattle Seahawks fans who may tune in to us and see us. I don't want nothing. I'm in the mortal words of Silky Johnson. I want everything bad happen to you and you alone. That's what I want bad to happen. Because I don't think DeMarcus Lawrence deserves that. But Seattle's a tough team. Seattle's good. Tampa's good. Philadelphia is good. It's still going to Detroit is good. So those are 4 teams right there. And then you got very good teams in those divisions behind them. Minnesota, Green Bay, Carolina. Carolina is showing signs of life. Until the 49ers mess around and no, I'm not bug. You can be bug nasty. I'm still. You got the wrong guy. You got the wrong guy. Buck Nasty is a totally different dude. You know what I'm saying? Buck Nasty is totally different. It's got to be Silky Johnston. You know what I'm saying? The winner of the player haters ball. You got to have him. But that's So, but going back to what we were saying, you got won 6 of your last 8. And getting the 6 of the last 8 is going to be extremely hard. And you're going and this was the point of stacking these wins early, getting the wins against the Carolinas, getting that win against who we thought the Bears were going to be and catching them early, and they beat you. Getting this win over Arizona. If you get those 3. Then you're looking at a totally different situation.
I think you're looking at a totally different situation.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because right now you 2 games behind 7 teams right now, I think.
Right. 2 games behind 7 teams with 8 to play. And you're going to the hardest part of your season. So picking up Quentin is great. Picking up Logan Wilson, helping a dilapidated room.
It's okay. That's the best way to describe it. It's okay.
Yeah. And we'll see how this plays out, man. So that's all I got for the good, bad, and ugly for this Cardinal game. What you got, bro?
I got nothing, man. I got nothing. Chris, too often I find myself saying just watch the film and burn it. Chris, if we put any more film in the fire, the smoke alarms are gonna go off. We're risking
we're gonna burn this house down.
Yeah.
We're gonna burn this house down, right?
Burn any more film, Chris, we're risking starting a fire.
Okay.
We're risking starting a house fire, and we can't do that. You gotta have something to force these guys' eyes open and make them watch all of this film now. I'm not sure.
Movie? What was that movie?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I know what you're saying though.
Mm-hmm.
You do need to do that. You need to make them watch it and learn from it and go forward. But right now, man, all we can do is enjoy the bye week. We're gonna put out our mid-season grades on everybody here. We're gonna drop that tape next week, man.
Our next 4 videos are going to be mid-season reviews.
Yeah, mid-season reviews and things of that nature. So we'll kick that off, man.
I'm going to say probably not. They're definitely not going to be live. They're going to be pre-recorded because we're doing that tomorrow. Because I got some things that I need to go enjoy
Man, B trying to go out here and live his best life, man. You know, walk around with his shirt off or with a white beater on and drinking
You know what I'm saying?
alcoholic beverages. That's
Hey,
what's up, man. Do your
on
thing,
somebody's
bro.
beach, man. On somebody's
Yeah,
beach.
that's what's up.
Yeah, that's
Somebody
gonna be
do
our
that,
next
man.
4 videos.
Okay.
Our next 4 videos are gonna be mid-season reviews of the offensive players, defensive players,
Mm-hmm.
offensive coaches, defensive coaches. So I think that
And in
that's
the
gonna be
mean,
really
and in the meantime, I'll go pilfer myself around the YouTube community and keep us from saying we're being blackballed, man. Cause and do that while B's away, man. That's what we definitely probably
absolutely,
gonna do.
absolutely. Get us out of here, Chris.
Hey man, listen, man, we two guys, man, who love watching film, man. We got this infatuation of dealing with this football team called the Dallas Cowboys. But together we are frankly football, man. We will always give you our best, man. We're gonna try to give you the best insight we can, try to keep it lively. We thank you for coming and kicking with us. Always hit the QR code, man. Like, share, subscribe, share, and kick it with us, man. Hey, I'm that dude, man, around the way, man, with a jiggling cup, you know. Remember the dude in Vegas saying, I will shut up if you put a buck in my cup? That's
Yeah,
who I am. And B's the guy who said, like, whose man's is this? That's who B is, man. And we will forever be Franklin football, man. So until next time,
peace.
peace.